Hello. Oh, shoot. Continue.
You're so cute.
Okay, I'll admit people. Here. Okay. Okay. Oh, good. Maddie's me today. Hey, everyone. Okay. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Let's see. Everybody hear me okay? Drop in the chat if you wouldn't mind, just so I know that you can hear me. Hopefully. Oof. I'm out of breath. Everyone hear me okay? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so hey, everybody. I'm literally out of breath. I was trying to run up 3 flights of stairs because I'm running a little bit late today. So today's masterclass is super exciting, only because we're talking about the shifting market. So can I see everybody? Where is everyone? Okay, there we go. First off, oh, look, I love to see everyone's faces. Okay, let's see. Let me make sure I've got my slides ready to go. First off, I just want to say thanks so much for getting on here today. For those of you who are interested in learning a little bit more about the marketplace and what's going on across the country, that's why I really do these meetings, is so that we can get to know not only what's going on like in our marketplace. It's one thing for us to talk about what's going on locally, but it's really important for us to know what's going on nationally as well. So I'm going to go over a few resources that you can go to so that you can look at some of these statistics that I'm going to be going over today. Oh, I have a weird hair out of place. I know you love that, Holly. Yes. I'm going to go through some of these slides today, and everyone who kind of knows me personally knows I'm not really a numbers guru, but today really is super important for us to understand what's going on in our market. How are we going to effectively communicate with our customers and let them know what's going on locally and then on a national level to kind of combat some of these objections that we may be getting, like, hey, I want to wait till the market goes up, or I think I'm gonna just wait until the market crashes, and then I'm gonna make a good buy, which that sounds like such a great idea. But I'm going to show you some of information, and it's going to be backed by some statistical numbers, which obviously statistics kind of are what they are, but our sales, we can't change that. So our inventory is what it is, and our sales are indicative of like the past 30 days, right? So it's really important for us to kind of pay attention to that. So let's see, without, I try to share my screen.
Okay, I'll enter and be quiet and go grab it. Just keep it on a little bit.
You, Nicole, someone's phone is not on mute.
Yes, so everyone, if you could hit your phones on mute for just a quick sec, that'd be awesome. Why am I not seeing my? Here we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm Nicole Briggs. I'm also, I also go by Nikki B for those of you who are familiar with my social medias platforms. I just want to take a second for those of you who are new to introduce myself. If you're new to coming to a training course with me or a masterclass with me, drop in the chat just so I know who's new and how many new people we have. I don't want to spend a lot of time on me because you're here to learn about what we're talking about in the masterclass, but I feel like it's important for you to know just a little bit of information about, where I come from, why the heck you even logged on today, and who the heck am I, right? Like, what do I know? So yeah, so we have some new people here, which is super awesome. So thanks so much for joining us today on the masterclass. So this is my team, Team Surge. I have a real estate team of all women who I put this together with a partner. Actually, I had a business partner almost 6 years ago now. And so now over the last year and a half, I took over the team by myself. And so these are my awesome agents. I'm missing Chantel, who's absolutely lovely, and she'll be in on the next photo shoot for sure. But my daughter's the blonde in the middle, and then Maddie is my awesomest, most amazing marketing assistant. I not really an assistant, she really is like the gal behind all of my platforms. So I really am appreciative to her, and she gets to be here today, which is really exciting because she's usually in class getting smarter. So anyhow, Maddie is there on the far right. So Cindy and Mindy are on the left of me. So this is my team. So, and in addition to running the team of real estate agents that I have, I created a real estate group. So for all of you who are members of our real estate group, Real Estate Talk for Women, if you're not, be sure to join us today. If you want to find us, this is the thread that you'll see. But I created this Facebook group really because during the pandemic was really interesting. I felt like it was an opportunity for people to jump onto social media platforms and really just give opinions about whatever was on their mind, which is fantastic. However, I really wanted to learn a little bit about real estate, and I wanted to talk more about real estate. I wanted to speak with other women that wanted to talk about real estate. So I decided to create my own group. So bless you. So we are just about to hit 10,000 members, which is really, really exciting. So there's a little over 9,000 women in the group, and they're very active in there, asking really like awesome questions. I actually learned from them more than anything, just because they're talking about platforms that I've never heard of. They're talking about different apps and stuff that are beneficial for them, and best practices for their real estate business. We talk about escalation clauses, you name it. So if you're interested in joining the Real Estate Talk for Women group, I only let in real estate agents. Sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath because I ran up 3 flights of stairs. I do allow a few service providers in there. And the reason is because I want them to be able to answer questions about what the group is having a dialogue about. So I really allow a few lenders, a few title, a few escrow, women also that are in the industry that could be beneficial. I don't really allow them to advertise. So when I do see a posting for an advertisement, I very politely tell them, hey, thanks, but you're really just here as a fly on the wall and you're here to offer advice. So, so you can rest assured that in that group, you're not going to be spammed with, hey, use me as your lender, or because I'm on it and I'm active in it every single day. So enough about that. So you're in the right place if, and I love this, Show Up is the name of my platform. And the reason why it says show up is because I feel like it's super important for us to show up for ourselves and for our families in our everyday life, especially in the real estate business. So if you want to begin showing up in your business as a market expert, that's why you're here today. That's what we're going to talk about. And second, if you want to begin showing up for not only your clients, but also for the people that matter most in your life, that's why we're here. You're also in the right place if you aspire to build a repeat machine of deals to earn a six-figure income year after year. That's exactly what I teach. So how and why am I even here, and why do I do this? So I've been a real estate agent now for 15 years. And for the last 10 years, I've been able to consistently earn a six-figure income year after year. So the reason I started doing this was I just kept thinking to myself, I feel like I'm on an island. I really do. I feel like I hear about how people run their real estate businesses, and I think to myself, that sounds great for you, but no offense to some of the male counterparts, I don't have that kind of time. Like, I just didn't. I had 4 small kids. Now my kids just barely graduated and are off to college, but my oldest is 26 or 25 and having our first grandbaby. But literally, when I was building my real estate business, I had really like 4 to 5 hours at best to run my real estate business. So I felt like I had an opportunity to share with other women who are like me, that are moms, single or not, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like, there is a way that you can earn a six-figure income in this real estate business. The question is, how do you do it? So when I started also, I didn't have people that were like, hey, I'm hugely successful, let me show you what I do. How many people have ever said, hey, come follow me and I'll show you everything I do? Like, I didn't have one. So I felt like it was really important for me to start the platform to just really share with people what it is that I do every day to continue to earn 6 figures every single year. So if you want to gain confidence that you need to deliver market information, that's what we're going to talk about today. In order to get more clients to say yes to you when it's time to close for the signature. This isn't, I don't share this stuff to brag or boast, but by the time it comes to signing the contract, I rarely get objections, rarely. I'm there for a reason, and I have the market information so that the natural ending to the presentation is just where do I sign, okay? So that's what I'm here to share. So I believe that you can do it. So I believe that you just all need just a little bit more, and we can't learn it all in one day, right? It takes time. So if you stay till the end, I have a couple links from my last couple master classes. I feel like my last 2 classes have been the most important classes that I've probably done in my career so far, because of the valuable information about the market that's going on and how to continue to create that repeat referral machine of deals. So we can send you out the links if you stay till the end. I'll have you at the very end, drop your email in there just in case I don't have it. Some of you have registered, so we should have all your emails. But sometimes they kind of come across, we all love electronics and the internet. Sometimes it gets lost. So I want to make sure I have that. So also the second class that I have is how to land more deals and how new agents are getting their business in 2021. I feel like new agents, if you're new on here, I feel like you have the biggest opportunity on the planet because you don't know any different. You don't know any different. You're getting into the real estate business in a time that's unprecedented. It's completely changed. And those of us that have been around for a decade or so are like, holy crap, the whole way that we are doing business has completely changed. So if you're a new agent and you feel like you're completely lost, let me just say, I feel like that you have a huge advantage, okay? Plus you're probably 10 times more tech savvy than most of us, which is fantastic, so good for you. So let me know in the chat. Here's what's super fun about this is we're going to talk about market stats across the country. I'd love to know what city or state that you service or what country you're in. If you can just drop in where you're from, so I can kind of see if we're dealing with some northern people, Tampa Bay, Florida. So awesome. I see some of my St. George peeps on here, Utah, Southern Michigan, Grand Rapids, yes. We're going to be talking a lot about each state individually. Boston, Mass, go Red Sox, North Carolina, awesome. Okay, great. Philippines, St. George. Oh, so awesome. Chicago, Fenton, so great. Okay, good. So yeah, we're going to cover the entire country. It's super fun today. I'm also going to give you links where you can go back and see some of these slides because I feel like there's so much data in there. That's why I'm a little bit late today, was because I wanted to make sure I had the most accurate information. So when I was putting together the slides, I was like, there's just so much content here. I just have got to, I'll share it with you at the very end so that you guys can have your own. So hang on to your seats because we're going to go through a lot of important info today. Here's what we're going to cover: what market indicators to look for. Okay, when we're talking about a shifting market, I've been through a lot of them. So I started in 2006 during the recession. So I'm like the new agents right now. I don't know anything different than to work my tail off, which is freaking awesome. So good for you. The second is what steps you should be taking right now. And lastly is going to be my secrets to closing consistently regardless of the market conditions. So those are the three things that we're going to cover. Are you ready? Any questions before I get started? We're going to do a Q&A at the very end for the last 15 minutes. It's my most favorite time. We usually go just slightly over, but if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat and Maddie will be able to help me keep track of what the questions are so that we can kind of go back to them or just say, pop in, take off your mic and pop in. You can totally interrupt me. I'm expressive and I don't get offended. So that's the beauty of being expressive. Okay, so who on here is noticing that their market is slowing and they're seeing a slight tick in an uptick in inventory? Drop in the chat real quick a yes, 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 yes. Because I want to see where y'all are from and where, yeah, right? Yeah. Okay. Interesting, isn't it? Across the country, we're all feeling it. Here's where we start to get into the nitty-gritty. So here's what's interesting. Let's talk right quick about the average sales price of houses sold for the United States. They're going all the way back to 1965. We have been on this upward trend for a long time. Here we can see the recession effects, okay? But we're still heading in this upward trending, I don't know, peak, if you will, where yes, we're seeing a slight slowing, but we're not seeing anything, you know, drastic or major like we were in 2006. Oops, let me go back for a sec. So here is what's interesting as well. The demand still remains strong, even though that we're starting to feel a slight slowing. Home buyers are still getting their listings quickly off the MLS. We're almost like telling our clients, your house is going to sell in 7 days. And that's almost not the truth anymore, right? We've got to be very good at being able to deliver our market numbers. But if you take a look at the market inventory, this is just this year. So just looking back, May, our inventory is slightly slowing. Like, look at what happened here, but we're starting to see an increase and an uptick from April to May. I know for sure May to June, there was an increase as well, and we're going to get into that. But a year ago, it took 26 days on the market to sell a home, and today it's 17 days. What's the difference, right? Like, why a year ago did it take 26 days, but yet we feel so much pressure because our lack of inventory, right? There's another factor that comes into all of this, and we're going to get to that. But it's going to really paint a nice picture for you so that when you leave here today, you're going to be able to eloquently discuss with your sellers and your buyers why waiting is a bad idea. So I posted the other day on my social media page, and if you don't follow my Show Up at Nikki V media page, it's showup_Nikki V on Instagram. If you don't follow that, I give tidbits every single day about something about our market or how to move forward. But this is something that I specifically was talking about, is how the market is really, really changing, and we can't really, we've got to do a better job at delivering this information to our customers. So here's a pending home sales graph that I found was quite interesting. This is from February of 2020 all the way till May. So obviously this is when COVID hit. And then we have, some type of, we have some type of increase where we started to see an uptick in our sales, but then we start to taper off. This is due to inventory, right? We can only sell what we have. So it's not that like, oh, buyers are going away. It just was everybody's inventory. Like we feel like we're, selling little Cracker Jack boxes for $500,000, and maybe that's different in your market is relative to numbers, but this is overall in the US, the Northeast, the Midwest, and also in the West Coast, how you can see that we all are feeling the exact same trend. So when you're talking amongst yourselves with your fellow realtors and you're hearing discussions about how this market is so tough, my caution to the wind is just turn and walk away. You know better, right? Like, that sales are still happening. You just need to have one of them. That's always kind of the place that I come from. So here we have the average sales price where the house is sold in the United States. Oh, I went through this one first, right? I've already been through this one. I added this one. Yeah, this just shows a little bit more detailed. That's the average sales, but this is what's interesting. 77% of homeowners in forbearance exit with loss mitigation repayment plan in place. Everybody know what loss mitigation repayment plan is? It's where they do like a loan or modification, or they tack, a certain amount of money on the end of the loan, and they give you some type of reprieve for the fact that you weren't able to make your payment. So the majority of homeowners in forbearance have workout options, and only a small fraction exit forbearance by selling their home. That's interesting too. According to Mortgage Bankers Association, 77.1% of homeowners that exit forbearance had a workout loss mitigation plan or a loan deferral or some type of a partial claim. Continuation of monthly mortgage payments is 24%. Reinstatement was 15%, and loan modification was only 10.2%. So I know this is a lot of numbers, but there's going to be a graph here that will lay it out and be a little bit more clear. But from September of 2020 till June of 2021, only about 1 in 10 homeowners opted to exit forbearance by selling their home, 7.5%, or by a deed in lieu of foreclosure. How many people are like, we're just waiting for, have clients, we're just waiting for the short sell and the foreclosure market to hit. We can't wait. We're looking for the deal. We can't wait. Well, you're going to be waiting a little while. Let's just say that based on these numbers. So the percentage distribution of cumulative forbearance exits from June 1st to 2021. So this is kind of what they did. Loan deferral did 27%. Borrowers continue making their monthly payments, 24%, all the way down to short sales and deeds in lieu of foreclosure. We're only making up 1.5% of the total number of people who are on some type of subsidized payment program. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw these statistics, like my jaw about dropped, I want to see what some people are saying here in the chat. I was just blown away just because I needed to know what to say to my clients when they were saying, hey, I'm just going to wait and buy a foreclosure. My favorite is the pre-foreclosure list on Zillow. Love Zillow with a quotation mark for their map. But as far as pre-foreclosure properties, we all know those are people that just missed one payment. Like you miss one payment, you're on the short sell list, by the way, which is completely absurd. But they changed the laws, and now our information is not protected. Let's see, we're out of COVID and places are now open and people are more comfortable with the vaccine. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're seeing so many more people out and about for sure. So how will this affect our inventory is like the biggest question. So these scenarios on the impact of the housing supply of 400,000 homeowners who exit forbearance without a loss mitigation plan. Let's just say out of those 400,000 people, they all go to market. Okay. All it's going to do, scenario one would be increase our supply of inventory by 25 homes. I don't know about you guys, but 25 homes isn't going to do diddly squat in my market, like nothing. Like that's a daily pended number for us. And I live in a really small town. Scenario two, let's just say 1/3 of the homes are listed out of all of those 400,000 homes that are in a forbearance situation. That's going to increase us by 8. You know, we need it. So we'll gladly take the 8. It's a bummer, but we'll take it. And then scenario 3, let's just say that 2/3 of those homes decide that they can list. That's going to increase it by 17. Like, this number is staggering to me. And this is the information that if I were you, I would go, when I give you this link, I would go to this website and I would print some of these graphs and I would tell a story just like I'm telling you. So that when we get to that, when they say we're wanting to make a purchase, but we're not sure, I would say, you know what, you know, if I'll give you the market statistics, this may help lay out, you know, a scenario for you or paint the picture as to why waiting is a bad idea. Okay. So here's the numbers by state. So since I've got everybody on the call from around the country, I thought it was interesting to look. This is the comparisons from the mortgages that are 90 days past due. So I happen to be in Utah, and we have 12,506 properties that are past 90 days or more is all. And then foreclosed and listed on the market, 4,169. And if 2/3, this is that same scenario, by the way, it's only going to increase our statewide numbers by 8,337 homes, not very much. In some of these bigger markets like Texas, I mean, it's all relative, right, to how big they are. So each one of these states, so I went through and here's the additional states. Sorry, it's so big, but it's hard for me because I'm not savvy. But you can see the states here on the side if you're in one of those states. If you have questions on that, like I said, I'm going to give you a link so you can go to this because it's pretty astounding, but it paints a really great picture for your clients. How can we utilize this information best is my question of the day. Because I'm not a numbers person. If you walked in with a list like this to me and you tried to give me this presentation, I'd be like, just give me the dumbed down version and tell me what my net number is. Because I'm more of a driver expressive personality, right? So know your audience before you walk into these listing and these buyer presentations. If you don't know what personality type they are, or if you don't know anything about personality types, stay tuned with me or go through my feed and I'll teach you about them. But personality types is everything on how to deliver this information. Okay. So here's the rest of the states. So the proof is in the results as far as all of these numbers are concerned, and it's about being prepared. So the number of mortgages that are past due at least 90 days and are in foreclosure inventory, this is what that graph looks like. So when someone says to you, hey, I'm thinking that I'm just going to wait, this feels a lot like the recession era. You have a ace in the hole. You have this map here, this graph, I'm sorry, that you can just pull out and say, you know, I think that that's interesting that you think so. It feels like it, doesn't it? However, based on what we're seeing, we're nowhere near where we were during the recession. During the recession in our city, every 3rd house was in foreclosure or in a short sale. When I look at my past tally sheets, I can see how many primary offers I have, how many short sales I'd written each week. I mean, we just don't have that these days, you know? And then knowing that it's only going to increase my inventory in my state by 26 listings, it's not even barely going to make a dent. Okay. So hang on, I don't want to go here yet. Maddie, I need your help. I want to go. There's a couple slides that I want. Oh, stand by. I can't click on things. How do I exit out of this screen? Oh, the escape word. Okay, stay with me and don't worry about my screen. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff on my screen. I have to show you this because this is what's interesting, and I didn't get that slide in here, which is a bummer. Am I not going to be able to pull up a? Oh, there we go. Not. Hang on a sec. Let's see. So if you go to the National Association of Realtors and you look on their homepage, they have a whole bunch of stuff for you to kind of get in here and look at. But what I'm most interested in is what we're talking about right here. Let's see, it's okay. I believe it was in, what they're talking about is the reason for this shortage is because we haven't kept pace with new construction. So new construction is crazy, right? Everyone's feeling that across the country. But what's nuts, I want to make sure I get this, is the amount of the shortage that we have. That's not the one I want. I know it's not that one. Here it is. No. Okay, sorry. I'm sad when I don't get the slides in here that I want. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna shoot it over to you guys when I send that email out. Because let me tell you what was interesting. I need to stop sharing my screen for a second. What was interesting was they were talking about how there's such a shortage in the home sales versus the new construction, and it shows over time like how far deficient we've been for new construction for so long that now all of a sudden it's time for us to, that's why we're seeing so much new development happening everywhere, but that it's not going to really affect the amount of sales that we're going to be having even for our repeat what's it called, resale market, which is kind of indicative of what we're seeing right now. Our prices have gone so high because of new construction and costs. Everyone knows building costs are up. But as the market starts to slow, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having conversations with my builders that do not track homes, you know, that don't do huge developments. But I have been giving them caution to the wind, just so you know, our market is slowing. Like we're starting to slow in market. And the text I got back from my builder yesterday was, so good to know. Thanks for letting me know. You want to know how to get a builder on your side, or you want to start listing properties? Go tell a builder that the market's slowing, because nobody's telling them that. Their head is buried in the sand right now with construction costs and how much they're, you know, outputting for lumber and for concrete and all that, and lots. Oh my gosh, dirt is so expensive right now, which is crazy. But you want to get a builder on board, tell them, hey, I'm here to give you valuable information, just to let you know, over the last 2 months, we're seeing a slowing in our marketplace. Getting in with builders is a great opportunity. You know, we've seen agents in our offices be newer agents and really like completely explode their business because they got on the new construction train. Okay. But having the information that you need and being able to deliver it in a way that makes sense to them so that they can see that, oh, caution to the wind, we've got a slowing in our marketplace. What does that mean for everything that I have build jobs in process? Because in my marketplace right now, we're not taking any additional contracts. So you can't walk into a model home and say, I really love this house. I'd love to build it. Here's $10,000 I'd like to put on my lot. They will laugh at you and they'll say, okay, thanks, but we'll release our specs 4 or 5 every 4 weeks. And there's no changes, by the way. You buy them as is, and there's probably going to be a multiple offer bid. You know, so you start giving them valuable information like this, where you tell them, hey, our market is slowing. Doesn't mean our prices are dipping based on what we're seeing. We're not going to see our prices go down because we still have a lack of inventory. But what we are seeing is it's slowing a bit, and there should be caution to the wind for them. So that's my shtick on the market. Anyone have questions on those slides? If you go to the NAR website, you can pull up, I love their blogs, like their most current blogs that they have. I look at who always is the writer. If there's some type of an analyst, I don't really love all that, but I look at where they get their data from. And the slides that I've shared with you today are ones that are actually pulled from census and from, you know, tax information and from lenders, from those bureaus, just to make sure that it's accurate and that it's not being manipulated in any way. So anyhow, if you want to do a little bit more market research on that, go for it, because it only makes you better. Which brings me back to my presentation. Let's see. I have to pretend like I remember how to get it started again, Maddie. Oh, here we go. It's because my screen's small. Okay, so what steps should you be taking right now? This is kind of my most favorite part. Like, the statistics and stuff are great. However, my specialty and the reason why I like to share so much is because I feel like it's all about how you show up to your appointment and your presentation. So first off, I'd be contacting all of your buyers that you have spoken with who think that the market is going to go down like it did during the recession, and send them the correct information. You don't have to be like a na boo boo, like I'm sending you stuff and you're wrong. No, you send it in a nice way, send them an email, drip your, and let them know that this is the information that we're getting. And you thought that, you just had thought of them when you read it, thought that they might think it would be a good read. Second would be to post on social media at least once a week, a market update. I posted the other day, there's only 3 times that you really need to post on your social media. Everybody makes social media out to be really, really difficult. And I know it's difficult too, because it takes time. However, if you have 15 minutes, this is how you should spend your 15 minutes. Post on there, let them know what's going on with the market in a fun way that they're going to like appreciate, make it personal. How about a personal business photo of you? Hey, interested in knowing what's going on in our marketplace? Real estate is crazy right now. Here's a few tidbits for you. It's not hard, but you'll know how to tell the story now that you've got the information. And you can go over to the NAR website if you want to just cut paste a map or a graph. Boy, that makes for a telling story when you start to look at how we are nowhere near where we were during the recession. So the third one is to drip your database once a month with market information. If you don't have a drip system, or you don't have some type of email campaign system or a CRM, most brokerages have some type of a database that you can load your information into. Some people don't like to do that because they want to keep their stuff a secret. Just so everyone knows, I barely have time to keep track of my own database, let alone steal yours. So just remember, like, it's really not as crazy as you think it is. Use the systems that are given to you that are free. If you're just starting out and you just need to start, I started with an Excel spreadsheet, and I share that almost every time we do a meeting, because until I got about 500 people on there, I kept track of people just by an Excel spreadsheet. So you can do that in Google Sheets, super, super easy. Load their name, their email, and then you just throw it into a Gmail. It's not hard. Or you can get a mass email like MailChimp. What's a couple other ones? Sendinblue. Some of the other ones that are a little bit more savvy and a little bit more robust, obviously, are like ActiveCampaign, Salesforce. Those are some bigger ones that you'd want to definitely make sure that you're not a new agent using those, just because the dollar spend is a lot per month. So that's what I would do first. Additionally, when you send out your information, make sure it's really professional. This is just a snippet of a little bit about like something that I use for my presentations, my listing presentations or my buyer presentations. Make sure it's professional. There's ways to do that. If you don't know how, you can follow along with me, because I definitely have programs for that, but make sure it's tastefully done. It's not too busy. It's got clear, concise bullet points that tells you your information, but make sure it's professional. This is a little snippet of what our monthly newsletter looks like. We do this every single month, and we send it out, just a little bit of information about what's going on in our area. We like to let them know of events that are happening. You notice that we put lots of photos in there of ourselves and of our team, because we want to make sure that we're branding ourselves, so that when they see us on social media or they see us at an event, they're like, oh, that's Team Search. That's the goal, is to become recognizable. We also give them an update on the market. You can see there the fourth one over, talks about how many went under contract, how many were new, and how many were active over the last month, just so that they have a good pulse on the market. The reason you send these things out is not for fun, and don't spend a million years trying to be design savvy and beautiful and make it crazy. Canva, you can get on there and they'll have a layout for you. So a plug and play is where I would start if I were you. But the reason you send this out is so that you can follow it up with a phone call, not a text, not an email, a phone call. Hey, this is Nicole Briggs with Team Search. I just was checking in to see if you are still receiving our monthly newsletter, because when I send mine out, I can see how many people opened it, okay, because of the CRM that we had. Oh, you didn't have a chance to take a look at it? No problem. I can just go ahead and resend it. I just wanted to see if you happen to notice our inventory is increasing. That's really great news, actually, for people who are purchasing right now. And for our sellers, that's an opportunity for us to let them know it's time to get realistic on your price. now more than ever, if you want to sell for top dollar, we want to make sure we're better than the competition, right? So these are the conversations that we need to be having with our clients, but use this information to your advantage. That's how you establish yourself as a market expert. You can't expect someone to just use you because you have a real estate license. Okay, you've got to show up for them. You have to be present. So my secret strategy to closing clients, regardless of market conditions. This is a good one. So I need to go back to it. So there's a couple things, and I know this seems like, really elementary, but the first thing would be you need to protect your mindset. Be very, very cautious about the people that you spend time with, especially when you're in the office. When you hear someone talking about how difficult the market is, like I mentioned earlier, you can let them know sales are still happening. They are still happening regardless. It's just a bummer that they're not one of them, right? You just need one. In order to find one deal a week, that's my goal. I shoot for a deal a week, whether it's a listing or a buyer or whatever. The moment I change my mindset on how to get business or remain relevant, the minute that I changed my mindset on that, it was incredible how many leads I actually produced, how many people I could follow up with, so that one deal a week could actually come to fruition. Okay, so I'd say protect your mindset about people in the office. Make sure that you're just spending time with people who are actually forward thinking and they're not going, oh my gosh, this market is so bad. I have to tell you, I walked into the elevator a couple of times, and the same person, like at least 5 times, this market is such hell. This is such bullshit. I can't believe what's going on in our market. Excuse my language. I can't believe what's going on in our market. Like every single time I saw this person. And here's what I know is I'm like, I know that's such a bummer. And I just turned around and kept walking. Like I can't put myself near someone that's going to think the market is terrible. I feel like it's an opportunity. And now more than ever, which is what I put in my original post about this, now more than ever, your clients need you as a real estate agent. They need to know that the market is starting to turn, not in a negative way. It's just changing, right? And your ability to shift before the news blasts it out in a year is going to be so advantageous, because they're going to say, you called it. Like you said, that it was changing, and I can tell now. So every single month when you're sending that monthly newsletter out and it's showing the inventory growing, because in the last 2 weeks, our inventory has grown by 100 homes. So we went from 303 to 403 as of yesterday. That's built and standing in our entire county. So when it changes like that, I'm going to be aware of it, and I'm going to let my clients know. So my strategy is stay away from people and the naysayers that aren't going to be forward thinking about the market and don't look at it as an opportunity. And the second thing would be to focus on getting your transaction done each week versus what's going on around you, right? Because focusing on that deal a week or whatever your goal is, let's say you have a goal for 2, then your focus would be in the next 2 weeks, I need to find a buyer seller that wants to write a contract or list a property. Okay, or reach out and get a referral, however it is that you get your business. Everybody runs their businesses different and they specialize in different markets. And lastly, it would be when you show up to these presentations, this is why I go through all of the market numbers and try to give you the information that you need. Be prepared. I saw a gal post in our Facebook group that she's been going on friends and family appointments, and she's frustrated that she's been missing out on a few things or whatever. Could it be that you were treating the appointment because you were a friend, not as a business appointment? Just a thought. So whether or not you're my best friend, whether or not you're my past client, whether or not you're a stranger or you're an internet lead, you're going to get the exact same process from me every single time. I'm never going to show a house until you come into my office and we sit down and we have an appointment and we have a conversation about what you're looking for and you sign an agency agreement. I'm not going to go out on a listing appointment. I'm not sending you a CMA without seeing the house. So we have to have these standards, but make sure that when you show up on these appointments, you're prepared with market statistics, what's going on as far as, which homes are selling, come out with the CMA, the solds, how their house will fall on the market. These are things that I go through. I went through in my past classes. That's why I'm giving you the links to them. And then lastly, show up with a net sheet. Be prepared. Show them what it is that they're going to walk away with when they purchase or they sell their house. People want to know exactly what they're going to walk away with. No one really cares what your commission is. If you set them up to know what their walkaway number is, and if you met or exceeded that expectation of that number, the question of commission doesn't even come up. I'll give you a for instance. So if I said to somebody, so, you wanted me to come out and list your house. Okay, great. Tell me, how much do you think that your home will sell for? Why not ask them? Well, I've been looking around and it looks like my neighbors have sold for $550 and my other neighbor sold for $525. Okay, good. Is your house similar or different? My house is similar. Okay. Is there anything that you've done in the last 5 or 10 years that I should know about that's going to affect your property positively or negatively? Ask the question so that when you get out on the appointment, and then when you get out there and you say, okay, you mentioned that you wanted to net an amount of, let's just say it was $510,000. Based on after all of, the title insurance and wire instructions and your taxes, after all the fees, looks like your walkaway amount is $508,900. Pretty dang close, right? Okay, good. All we need to do is sign right here so that I can get started and let me know when we can have the photographer come out. Like literally the close is so easy. It's easy because you've set the tone for the presentation. Okay. Yes. So those are my strategies for it. Be prepared, protect your mindset. And what was my third one? Because now I went out of order. Making sure that market numbers, make sure you've got the statistics with you. Any questions on that? So real fast, I've got Q&A for you. I know I kind of went a little fast today because those market numbers are so good, but I want to be sure that you guys have all the links. Just go to that NAR website. But if you don't follow me on social media, I'm at the showup_Nikki B. And then I also run a book club, which today, what's the name of that book? It's it's a book on negotiation. So I'm super excited about. Chantel on my team brought it to our attention today. So I'll be posting that today in our group because we're ordering them for our group. If you wanted to follow along and do a book review with us on BrainCamp_Nikki B. And then of course, I've got the Show Up Nikki B on Facebook, and then the Real Estate Talk for Women is my Facebook group. So hopefully you follow us there real fast, because I'm going to say this in here. If you follow along on our Real Estate Talk for Women, since we're about to do 10,000 members, this is super exciting, but we're going to be doing some type of a giveaway. Well, I already know what kind of a giveaway it's going to be, but we're going to be doing something for when we hit 10,000 followers for all of you ladies. So you'll get to see that start to roll out here in the next 2 weeks. So we're super excited about it, and really want to just thank everybody for following along in that group. It's really been just so beneficial and really fun for me. I feel like some of those ladies, I actually just sent a referral to California. Her name's Tracy. If you're on here, I love her. She's been so great, but she's going to be listing a house for me in Fremont, California. And I just wrote an offer for the buyers here in St. George. And then she introduced me to her title gal, Christy, who is probably on here as well. And she is going to be handling the title side. So it's so great for us to be able to send referrals across the country. And we do it all in the group, which is really, really fun. So let's get to questions. This is my favorite part. Anybody have questions? But I don't ever see my tab for my questions. Oh, there it is. So don't be shy, because I really want to hear. Okay, Nicole's one deal a week means, oh, McKaylee, I need to go back one, sorry. Nicole's one deal a week means someone that is hot lead that is ready to buy today. That mindset helps me so much. Okay, so McKaylee is my daughter, and bless her heart, she took over my CRM, my profile on there. So she runs all the leads out of my account. So I can see how often she's calling, make sure she's calling or whatever. I don't really have to follow up on her, but yeah, the one deal a week is someone hot, ready to go right now. So whether or not I have to go to my past clients or I have to go to my lead follow-up and see who was in process to see who's ready to do something right now. Like on my plate right now, I know I have a listing coming on next week. Two coming on next week. So those are people that I've got documents out. I need to make sure I get them back and signed. So I count those as one a week. And the good news is sometimes you get two, but it makes up for some of the weeks when you don't get any. But my focus every single week, and I start this on Sunday, and I've told this and shared this in my meetings before. On Sunday night, I literally am thinking to myself, what do I have on my plate this week? Who am I working with that I can put under contract and or get a listing agreement signed this week, not next week, this week. And if I don't have anybody, I go back to my database. Have to go back to your database. That is my bread and butter. Or I go to my past clients. And someone that's been on my mind, I probably need to be thinking of them. In fact, I messaged my second cousin the other day and I said, hey, just want to tell you I love you. I love all your posts. She has a Zaya account where she sells activity wear. I just told her I was really proud of her. And she's like, hey, I was just talking about you. Don't be mad, but I think we're going to buy a house. I know you told me not to sell my house. So should I keep it? Yes, you should keep it as a rental. But yeah, so when you think of somebody, it's probably because they need a call. So that's kind of that woman's intuition to give them a ring. For your kids, for those of you that are moms, when on Mondays or on Sundays, I think of that about what I need to do in my business, but I can tell you that, and in my scripts, I even have in there about what I say to my kids, and don't take it the wrong way, but I had to know what I could say to my kids consistently every single day. And here's what I did was I sit at the table and I would say to them, what do you guys have on your agenda today? Well, I've got cheer practice, or I've got baseball, or I've got whatever. Like I would find out what they had going on. And I'd say, okay, remember you have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Remember to let me know. And then I would say to them, and just so you know, today I have an important meeting from 12 to 1. And then I have a showing from 2 to 3. Outside of that, I'm available, but don't call me during those times. I'm working. Okay, it's so good for us to let our kids know that their time and their schedule is very important to us, and that our head and our face isn't just buried into our phone doing our business, that it's important. And if it works for your husband too, like you got to let them know what you're doing so that they don't just think you're out there doing nothing, or you're out getting a coffee every single day, just yucking it up, having lunch. I like to let them know what I'm doing so that they know that I'm working, and that they know that I'm doing it for them, you know, and for me. Yeah. What databases are you using? Someone asked. Okay, so I use, for my leads and my lead generation, I actually have a Boomtown account. And I share this often because it's important that it's one of the most expensive platforms that you can get, however, and robust. I've tried a lot. I've tried Brevity, Ben Kinney's. I've tried Real Geeks. We've tried, what's the other one that we had to create ourselves, and that was horrible. Oh, that was Real Geeks. Sorry if someone's on here that uses that. That was hard for us. You had to like create it yourself. I am not a coder, so that's not, neither is Maddie. So we're not doing that. But Boomtown was really, really great in that I got a lender partner. So if you can, you know, if you find out what the costs are and you feel like it's too much for you, you can always go to a lender and ask them to be your preferred lender, and they'll share 50% of the cost with you. This is a huge deal to get 50% of the costs covered. It puts you on notice to be accountable to your lender. And likewise, it puts them on notice that you're working for them. My lender I've been in business with for 10 years now. I use Academy Mortgage here. It's no secret. They're on my website. And if you want to go to my website and see what Boomtown looks like, it's st-georgerealestate.com. And that's my website. But I just pull in buyer leads. I don't pay for seller leads. I get all the seller leads on my own. I do all my business by repeat referral when it comes to listings. I don't purchase leads for those. Great question. What other leads sources do we use? To send our emails? We've used Sendinblue. I've also used, what's the MailChimp? MailChimp is the easiest, I feel like, to use when you're just starting. It doesn't have a lot of analytics to it, but it doesn't matter. You just need it to send and see who opened it. It doesn't matter. What other platforms do we use? I use tons of social media ones just for creating social media stuff. For sure, Canva. I like any type of fun filter type thing that I can do because I get sick of looking at my face. So I want to see something that's more fun. So I'm always looking for new ones. So if anyone has anything great, I'd love to see it dropped in the chat because that's really fun. Because I actually enjoy posting on social media to give out tips and tricks. It's really, it's a way for me just to give you 5 seconds of good information that I use. When I share my stuff, it literally is everything that I use. So what else? Any other questions? No one has any questions on statistics or anything about the market? That surprises me. But y'all probably know because you're all out there working. How about you, Holly? Are you still on here?
I am.
How's the weekly nightly business going?
So we haven't quite seen the drop or the
Slow.
slowing
Yeah.
in vacation rentals. That hasn't really, we're still pretty high.
And it won't either. Don't you think? I mean,
Yeah.
we're on the map. Like people are
Right.
just going to keep coming here.
Right. And exactly. And because our county actually put all of our any new licensing on hold for 6 months. So that actually drove the demand a little higher
What?
as far as vacation rentals go. Yeah. They're trying to make some new ground rules.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? See, that's stuff I don't even know because I'm not in that arena. I don't.
Right.
I mean, I sell them, but I call you.
As
I
you
call
should.
you for the 411. Hey, you got anything good coming on? Because I got a solid buyer. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of the extent of it, but I'm interested to know more. That's
Yeah.
good. But in the other inventory, I mean, it definitely is starting to slow, don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a listing at 725 that has actually been on there a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm seeing like agent put in the remarks, all offers will be presented and negotiated by Monday at 5. So I called agent. I'm like, so how many offers do you have? And they're like, none.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of think, back those comments out of the remarks
I
and
agree.
go back to real estate, go back to, this is the house, this is how much it costs, this is how much, the comp support and go back to there. We got to be more focused on getting them what they were wanting, which was selling the home. Right. Yeah. So anyways, good stuff. What other real estate strategies are best to focus on right now other than vacant and distressed properties? So I still, Cami, what market are you in? Where are you? Oh, Camille, sorry, I missed your L. Oh, Boston. Okay. Do you typically, do you just do resell? And are you resell market there? I'm trying to just know what kind of wholesaling. Okay. So wholesaling is a whole nother animal. So different. So aside from doing that, like with your real estate license, just because buyers are a dime a dozen, like before like anyone even was talking about what's going on with COVID and how it's going to affect everything, I came from being a buyer's agent. That's where I made the biggest impact, where I started to handle high volume. When I say high volume, like 50 deals a year, 35 to 50 deals a year. And I learned to build my business based on my buy sides. So every buyer that's in the marketplace, people are like, oh my gosh, there's so many buyers, yet there's not enough houses. Yeah. But the idea is to build your database with those buyers. Okay. They're needing help. Even if they can't buy right now, they'll be able to buy eventually. So we have to do a better job about trying to build your database by asking them. I always say this question, everyone's going to get sick of me once you watch me for 5 years. Do you currently have a real estate market professional that keeps you in touch with the market? Do you currently have a real estate professional that keeps you in touch with the market? And if they say no, fantastic. The good news is you're not ready yet, but you will be in a couple of years, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here. So I'm going to keep you posted on the market updates. I'm going to check in with you once a quarter. And if you have any questions for me, or anyone else who's looking to buy or sell any real estate, I would hope that you'd give them my name and number, and I'd be happy to help. Our goal, like as all these buyers are coming into the marketplace, that's why I say the new agents have a huge opportunity, because they don't know any different. These buyers are a way for you to build your database. And this is how you build that. When people have 5,000 to 10,000 people in their database, you don't know everybody personally, but if you do it this way, you do. Like I literally can go through my database and tell you every single person with a story behind some weird thing that I did when I sold them their house. That's just how I am. But I remember every single one of them. And that's what is a good money maker. That's the repeat referral machine maker that you're trying to build. So instead of looking as a lead as just a lead, look at them as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to get to know somebody that doesn't know you, and that you can add and build into your database. The other type of properties that I would be focusing on, since you're in the wholesaling business, there's never a bad market for an investor. So if you want to learn a little bit about investments, that is probably my second favorite thing. So I do mostly resells, and my passion, my most favorite thing is walking into a room and just owning a listing presentation about an investment, because I know how to, you learn how to analyze a property to know, a cap rate and what if it's going to be a good purchase for them, so that then you're savvy enough, you can get into their portfolio and say, okay, you have these 5 homes, you've owned them for 30 years, you have 0 loans on them. Why? There's got to be a reason why. Most people just pay stuff off because it feels good. But tax wise, it's not in their best interest if that's the goal. Like if they're trying to use it as a tax shelter and they've got them all, paid off, that's not the best investment. It's not the best advice for them. And then we show them how, right? So learning about investments, if you're not familiar with duplexes or townhouses or fourplexes, apartment buildings, I've sold a 25 unit apartment building before, 20 units. Those learning how to facilitate a transaction for large apartment complexes or townhomes or whatever, even if it's an individual person, that's probably been my most favorite thing to learn about. One, because it's unsuspecting. And that's probably just a personal issue for me. I feel like I was in a room full of super smart agents that were not like me. And I had to get the top of my game. I had to learn how to analyze a property and how to do it quickly in order to give good advice and in order to get them to pick me over someone else. Because my office, actually, we all prospected from the same list. So I would set the appointment, 2 other guys would set the appointment, all 3 of us were going on the appointment. That's super fun, all from the same office. So I had to figure out a way to stand out and be different. And that's how I did it. I just don't look like, maybe I wear big earrings, I have high heels, I've got red nails, and I wear lipstick. I'm like in your face. That's just kind of me. But what I do know is I do know my numbers, and I never walk into a room without being prepared, ever, 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 ever. I make sure that I know the numbers, and any questions forwards and back, you're prepared. So I'd say investments if I were you, especially because you're in the wholesaling business. That's like the flip side to the wholesaling business, right? Like you could do both sides, or at least in the wholesaling, you'd be building a database with your wholesaling customers. That's what I would do. Awesome. Anyone else have questions? I'm so shocked everyone's so quiet today. No? Okay.
I
I'm gonna
love
end.
Terry. I love when you mention about the apartment complex. My uncle just asked me to find him a 15 to 20 unit apartment complex, and this is my fifth month in real estate, so I'm feeling like, okay, that's not my lane, but I appreciate
Oh, you got that.
saying that. I'm comfortable now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, and I'll be happy to share with you how to do that, like how to go through property. I've given a class, a master class before on how to analyze investments. And here's the challenge. When you get in that predicament and you're like kind of stuck and someone comes at you, it's funny because investors have their own way about analyzing property. Like literally, you could go to every single agent and you'd ask them, how do you analyze an investment property? Everybody has their own way, and they want to know, when a buyer calls you, they're like, well, what are the utilities? What's the vacancy rate? What's this? What's that? And you just tell them, hey, you know what? I know you need to know all that stuff, and we can work all that stuff out, and I'll get you all that information and due diligence. I see hundreds of properties every single day. So I actually have a way that I have to analyze properties to know whether or not we're either going to look at the good ones, or, we're going to throw away all the dogs and we're only going to look at the good ones. So I have to have a fast way to sift through it. And here's what I know is that when they show me how they analyze them, and then I show them how I analyze them, what's interesting is my numbers are even more conservative than theirs. The reason is because they're down to the dollar, right? Like they're looking like, 12.21 gigawatts of whatever. Like I'm not looking at that kind of stuff. I round up, and then I'm super conservative. So when I tell them I can find you a 5% cap or a 6% cap, they're like, really? That's nuts. And I'm like, yeah, I know. They're like, well, on this one. So I said to them, well, what do you currently own? That's my favorite thing. What do you currently own? And I just need to know how much they paid. I just need to know the rents, and that's all I need. and I'll figure, and tell me the year of the property. And I'll be able to tell them what they should be getting or whatever, what kind of cap rate they're getting. And then that way I can figure out how much the property would sell for, and or that they should even be buying it, just based on those numbers alone, because I'm so conservative on, figuring out. The only thing I do is the expenses. I figure out I do a 35% for expenses off the top. And depending on the age of the property, I don't change it. And the reason I don't change it is because I have to look at the comps. A buyer's not looking at the comps and a seller's not looking at the comps. I have to go by what properties will appraise for. So I'm looking at what has recently sold, and then I'm figuring out what that average is by my same formula. And then I take that formula and then I'm like, well, market is about a 4.5. So you would agree that if I can get you something that's better than 4.5%, I'm outpacing the market. I'm making you money, So investments are super, super fun. And once you know how to share with them the information that they need or that they want from you and deliver it in a way that they understand, they'll be like, that makes sense. Yeah, good. Go find me something at 4.5 or go find me something at 5. And once you show them that you're able to do that by rents and price, then when they get all the details of how much the electricity is and vacancy rates, and they want to go through and analyze it, they're going to find that you were way more conservative than they were, because 9 times out of 10, they want to manage it themselves, which is a terrible idea. Hallie will manage it for you. Yeah, but and that's because they're like, well, I can manage it. Okay, great. Well, there's a management fee. Guess what? My numbers include that number. So I'll give you for instance, my daughter bought a property. She bought a Color View townhome, for those of you from St. George. And there were none on the market. So I was looking at something I was looking at some off market or expired, just looking for something for her. And I found one that was listed for 136,000. And so of course it was like completely renovated, so cute. It is way overdone for that area. Hands down, granite countertops, that place is like old, and now that's like nice. So anyway, she buys it. And when you pull up the rents, they were getting 700 at the time for rent. No, that's a lie, 900. They were getting 900 for the rents. So by the time, she's like, what? By the time I figured out what the rents were and what the cap rate, the return was, it was 7%. And then now that she's bought it and she refinanced it, and rents have gone up, she's getting 1,200 for that place. And now she's at a what cap were you at now?
I haven't looked at all.
I think it's over 7. It's almost like 9, I think. It was crazy.
I feel like it's like at 10% right now.
Yeah, she thinks it's like 10% now. But the deal is then she's got someone else paying her mortgage, right? That's why you tell people to go buy those things. But I was able to make her, not only that, she's made almost 90,000 in equity, 85,000 in equity in 2.5 years, which everybody has, but this is her first buy, and she was 22 years old, 21 years old. So that's the stuff that I like to teach my first time home buyers. I teach them that. So I use the exact same strategy with my single family, or my townhomes that I sell to an investor as I would for a 20-unit apartment building. The numbers are just the numbers. It doesn't even matter if it's 150,000 or 5.5 million. It doesn't matter. The numbers are just the same. It's all about what their rate of return is, and that's all an investor cares about. So I'd be happy to help you with it if you need some help.
I appreciate that. Beach property is hot right now too. Seems like everything is double the price. even renting for one night.
I want to go there. Wherever the beach is, that's where I want to be. Where we live, it's hot. It's like 118 the other day. It's stupid hot. It's really hot. So yeah, beach properties, it's because people are vacationing, right? Like they've been cooped up for so long, and they want an escape, and they know prices are changing, and that they just keep, climbing. It's crazy that mass exodus that's happening in California, but then why is their market still so hot? Like their properties are selling like crazy. Well, and that's because of the shift in where people are moving. They went from inner city to now they know that they can get a little bit more land, and they can move out into the outer skirts, because those people in the outer skirts are now jumping ship and going to another state. So there's this huge shift that's happening in California. And it didn't make any sense to me. I kept saying, why is everybody, I know why they're leaving, but where the heck are they going? And why is your market still appreciating like crazy? But it's because it's actually creating opportunity for people to now actually have home ownership with land where they didn't ever have that opportunity before. They were just in an apartment. So it's caused a huge shift in property transfer in California. But yeah, beach properties, dang, that's on my bucket list, girl. I am ready for a Huntington Beach house. I'm just waiting for my husband to make a little more money. Dang it. Are you laughing like it's not going to happen? Yeah. So anyways, but good question, Sherry. If you need me, just reach out. I'm happy to help. Okay.
I will. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Okay. If no one else has it. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, here we go. What do you use for your, okay. Would love a copy of your 2 previous classes. You bet, Sharon. Who would be the motivated sellers at this time? Oh, great question. So right now I have people that are relocating, that are not staying here for one reason or the other. And your sellers are going to be the same people who were your sellers all along. The question is why would they want to sell? That's a better question, because now we got to know about what their motivation is. If they're trying to capitalize on, because I was a seller in this market. I just barely closed on my personal house 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to capitalize on the gain I made on my home. I lived in a townhouse for the last 9 years, and I was able to, I knew I was in a townhouse and they can only appreciate so much in my area. They're only going to go so high. So I felt like it was an opportunity to sell and capture all of that income that I could have earned. And I actually went into a rental, and I'm just waiting now that the market is slowing. I told my husband, here we are. Like, this is exactly what we need to have happen. And this is what's happening, is as it slows, my inventory is going to grow and I'm going to have more opportunity to buy. So the question is why, what's the reason for them selling? That's the question. And if you have buyers that you've sold to, who's that? Oh, Camille. Yeah. So if you have past clients, are you new or do you have past clients? Camille, are you on here still? Oh yeah, you're new. Okay. So if you don't have any past clients and you're just brand new, that's a great opportunity for you to call your database. And I always tell people, where's my dang phone? If you don't have a database, yes, you do. It's right here. How many contacts do you have? Every single person that's in this phone was important enough that you took their cell phone number. So they deserve to be in your CRM system, even if there's someone that you're just an acquaintance with, even if it's just the window guy. That guy needs to go in your database and find out what his business is and DM him and say, hey, I've used your services before and I really like you. Just was wondering if I could add you to my preferred vendor list. There's business in everything for sure. So in your past clients, if I were you, I would go back to, or not your past clients, in your database, all these people that are just in here, I just give them a call and let them know that you're new to the real estate business. Send them a digital copy of your business card and just tell them that you're looking for people who are interested in purchasing in this market, or if they happen to know anybody that's selling, you appreciate them passing along your business card. But those digital business cards are cool. Hopefully that helps. Oh, you do have some buyers. Good. I freaking love buyers. I don't care what anyone says. I love them. And I love on them so much that I make sure that they say good things about me to refer me. I get most of my business from my repeat referral clients that were actually my buyers. They're my favorites, because typically your sellers are either moving out of the area, and if they stay in the area, they end up staying, I get the retention there too, but usually they're relocating or they're going somewhere different. So you're welcome. Hopefully that helps. Did I get everybody? I think so.
One more.
What was the last one? Oh yeah. Would you ever pass up on a listing? Someone I work with wants me to sell his dad's mobile home. Comps are only 55 to 70. No, I wouldn't pass. I wouldn't pass on that. One, because it's a referral and this is someone personal to you. And second, your friend, whoever referred you, will send a good, 5-star review for you by helping her dad, for sure. I have a soft spot for dads. So I would definitely help that person. It's not about the commission. It's never about the commission. I always tell my agents, if you have figured out what your commission is before you've even got this property sold, you've already lost before you got started, you know? Yeah, well, people in your office that think it's too much work, ask them how many deals they're doing. If they're doing 50 deals or 100 deals and they're too busy for one more client, that's too bad for them. I don't know anybody that would turn down a referral, like especially on a manufactured home, or even if it's just a lot. Like, it's all about just helping people. And when you come from the mindset of just being helpful, you will never have to want for business. I promise. Like, you'll never have to want for that. So always do right by the person, and make sure you tell them how much you appreciate their business. And when they say, I know it's only 55 or 75,000, you just let them know, you know what, it's important to me that I help you. And it's important to me that we get your dad, you know, what he needs for the property. So you appreciate their referrals all the time, for sure. Good question. Who cares what all the other agents say? Yeah, whatever. My favorite saying is next. So when someone says something I don't like, I'm like, nah, next, move on. I can move on pretty fast. So get real good at saying next. So, okay, everyone, thank you so much for being here. I absolutely, and like, I love coming on here and doing this. So it's really, really fun for me. So make sure, if you haven't joined the group, make sure you do. And then when you get in there, I'm going to be doing a welcome post, because we get like 100. I got like 100, I got a couple hundred people that want to get in there today. I usually message out to make sure to introduce yourself, let us know what market you service, because we send so many referrals back and forth. So if you happen to join the group, just give me a shout out. Hey, Nicole, I made it. Let me know about the meeting today, so I know that you were on here today, because that's super fun. I love to see people go from there into there. It's really been a really great group, and the ladies in there have been fantastic. So hopefully you guys all join us there. Thanks so much. See you later. Thanks, Holly. So cute. Oh, my back hurts. Who walked in?